Hey folks, day 14, mobility workout day. Are you ready? Let's start the stretching routine. Last week we saw a bit about how to improve your back mobility. So this time we'll be concentrating a little more about the hips. So the hip, as you already know, is a complex area where a lot of muscles and actions are involved and a lot of joints are at play. So let's take the basics and help you to improve your mobility bit by bit. So you have all known about the stretch, this dynamic movement. You have been taught this ever since your school days. So what you do to perform 30 repetitions clockwise, and while you are making or doing these repetitions, make sure that your back doesn't go like this. Keep your back straight. Push your hips to the side. Go around. Bend your knees a bit when you come forward. And then go back. While you're going back, make sure that your back does not round. So once you finish 30, proceed to 30 this side. Once you finish 30 on each side, you would have mostly removed most of the stiffness, the overlying stiffness in your hips. So you are safe to proceed to other hip mobility exercises. Guys, so before we start off, a small confession from my side. I really suck at hip mobility and flexibility, and the very reason I kept a separate day for mobility workouts is because I was really stiff. But after I started incorporating some of these flexibility exercises for the past 1 month, I feel that most of the exercises I'm doing, the way that I do them has definitely improved. And even my running, even though it is only on the terrace right now, not outdoors, I feel that my running has also improved after incorporating more flexibility sessions into my routine. I'm sure you'll see the results also. So let's start with the second hip mobility training. So basically start, and then what you do is turn it to one side, like this, such that your legs form an L. So obviously when you're forming an L, this leg has to be perpendicular to this leg. So this has to go over here, right? So this leg should be either here or here, depending on your comfort levels. Okay? So I don't want you to stretch right now. You just turn to the side and then immediately repeat this on this side. Okay? So that's one repetition. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I want you to do around 10 to 15 repetitions for each set and perform around 3 sets. Now we are going to see something that's really important for everybody, because one of the basic foundation exercises for your legs and your thighs, you know what it is, it's called squats. And if you're not able to do squats properly, it means that your hips are too tight or there is some kind of a mobility problem in your hips. So to unlock your hips, you have to be able to squat properly. So the usual mistakes that people see during squats is, one, people squat like this, or they squat like this and they fall backwards because they are too tight. The hips are too tight. That's the problem. So to prevent this, you have to incorporate hip mobility exercises that will help you to maintain a proper squat posture. So in the days of our forefathers, when using the toilet, we always used to squat, and they never had any issues with their hips. But nowadays, with most of us performing desk jobs and sitting at chairs during work, I think all of us have gone out of that proper posture. And to incorporate that posture, we need to simulate this kind of squatting posture more often in our lives. And this mobility routine would take you one step closer towards success in that area. Let's start. the right way to perform the squat, as you already know, your knees should not cross the tips of your toes. So go down, use the support, hold on to your support, and go down in such a way that your knees don't cross your toes. Squat, and then hold on to the support. This can be a bedpost, or it can be anything that is very strong and not movable. I'm using something slightly movable because I'm able to squat in a slightly better way than other people. So you can use something that is slightly movable. If not, if your squat posture is really bad, then I recommend you go for something like this. Hold something that is not movable. And during this, it's very important not to make another mistake. Don't slump like this. It's very bad for your back. Keep your back straight and your shoulders backward, and sink into the posture, right? Let your bums go down into the ground as deep as possible. You should be feeling a stretch here, okay? That's where you need to work, and those muscles are going to become really tight during this exercise. I want you to move from side to side. Get used to it. Keep your joints mobile. Perform small circles with your hips. You may hear slightly popping sounds. Don't get worried about that. Move clockwise first. Work yourself into small circles. And then anti-clockwise and clockwise. Around 10 reps on each side. When you feel some pain here, near your ankle, in the front side of your feet, where they connect to your shins, when you feel some slight pain there, what you do, end the rep, come back up. I want you to give a break for probably 20 seconds and then repeat. So, thing here is, it's going to take a while to get mobility, and you know what, this move is not just for your thighs, but it's also for your ankles. Because when you're squatting and moving in circles, your ankles are going to start working, and if you have ankle stiffness, it's really going to affect you. So it's going to be painful, I won't lie. If you're a stiff person like me, it's going to be really difficult. But I want you to keep at it for at least 2 months, perform this mobility routine, and you'll see the wonders that I did. Okay? I show it to you once again, and once you become a little better, you can try something heavy. You can try carrying. I don't have anything heavy right now, so I'll carry this. I'll just go into the squat position. Okay. Make sure that you're not squatting like this or going backwards. If you go back, you're going to fall. Right? Yeah. Get into the proper squat position. Make sure your knees don't cross your feet. Keep your back erect. There are so many points that you should be remembering. And let this weight carry you down into the ground. Okay? So this is a very light weight that I'm using. You should probably be using a 10 kg plate or something like that, which you can hold and sink into the ground. This will help you to release any tight muscles that is preventing you from, going to the bottom of the squat. And when you rotate, you're also giving your ankles some mobility here. And yeah, that's how you do it. Make sure that you get enough rest before you perform another repetition. I want you to do only 5 repetitions of this. And in each repetition, I want you to do 10 clockwise and 10 anti-clockwise circles. 20 seconds rest between each rep. Okay? The hip mobility workout that I showed you in the second video. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hold a static stretch, performing the same exercise. Let me show you how it's done. As usual, start with both feet on the ground. Turn to one side, form the L. So note here, the person with really bad hip flexibility will not be able to do this. He'll probably fall backwards. So if you're able to maintain a near normal vertical position, so you have moderate flexibility. But the problem with me is, I'm still not able to push my knee into the floor. So I'm not totally flexible, but there are many others who can do that. I wouldn't worry even if you can't, it's fine. Do whatever you can. That's the reason that we are stretching, to make our body more flexible, right? So what I want you to do is you form the L and then go into the stretch. So you can either do a knee stretch, knee level stretch, or if you're finding it too difficult, you go for the ankle. And when you're going for the ankle, press down on your knee with your elbow. Hold the stretch for around 20 to 30 seconds. While you're stretching, you'll feel a little tightness over here, because whenever you're stretching one part, there will definitely be tightness on the other side. Now you repeat the same on this direction, and when you do so, you'll probably feel a tightness over here. The same formula. Hold the ankle, push the knee downwards. If you're really flexible, you can probably stretch here. I'm not ready for that stage yet, so I'm doing it at ankle level and using my elbow to push this knee down. Hold for 20 seconds. So it's important while you're stretching that this side of the leg is relaxed, it should not be tight, and it defeats the purpose of the stretch. And if possible, bend a little forward and go towards your ankle. Okay, so I want you to do 10 reps, 3 sets like last time, but only 10 reps for each set. Okay, it's not necessary to go up to 15. 8 to 10 reps per set should be fine. And hold for 20 seconds. That's it for today's workout. See you tomorrow.